There's a lot more going on here, as Marvin Bagley III was just signed by the Washington Wizards. Is this a message from Zach Kleiman to go out for another big man, or just wait it out until that guy and Jaren Jackson Jr. get back? Who knows how many games they'll miss, if any. They'll be reevaluated around early October, maybe mid-October. Either way, before the regular season starts. We'll talk more about that. Plus, one Grizzlies youngster getting recognized. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Grizzlies Digest. Jared Alatorre, yes, I am wearing a visor because it was so hot and because I'm tired. So we'll start out with that for Grizzlies Digest. And before we get into that, just want to let you know, so sorry about that. Don't know why I did that. But 13% of you are subscribing. Thank you so much. Your support does not go unnoticed. You're doing a great job liking, commenting, subscribing, engaging in the channel. Got to know a lot of you really well, but 87% of you, what's going on with y'all, man? It's free. Subscribe to the channel. It's so free. Hit it right now. Down below. It takes less than a second. Let's balance out those bubbles. We're one of the fastest growing Grizzlies channels on YouTube. So let's hit that subscribe button and do your assignment before your well-deserved weekend. So let's get into the content, because this was reported today by ESPN's Shams Charania. Free agent Marvin Bagley III has agreed to a one-year deal with the Washington Wizards, sources tell ESPN. So Bagley's coming back, or going back, I should say, to the Washington Wizards after playing in Washington for a year in the 24-25 season, then being traded to Memphis at the February deadline. So this all, again, I don't know what Memphis was doing. I'm going to stay on topic here. Okay. But I don't know what Memphis was doing at the trade deadline. I'm going to go full screen for a second. Because you had Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia. Okay, I understand wanting to get rid of Marcus Smart. You know, okay, he's a veteran piece. He could be used as a defensive juggernaut in some cases. But you got rid of Jake LaRavia. And I don't know why they did that. Because he's a young guy. He seemed to have really thrived well underneath the radar, and then eventually into the radar. I don't know. He was really good in the Memphis uniform. I think he was one of the more underrated pieces in the NBA, and he was growing as a young talent. He would look very comfortable here. And I don't know what happened at the trade deadline, but that was what I just wanted to bring up because of Bagley. He was brought in at the trade deadline for Memphis, and I have a feeling, and I said this in the earlier videos, like around 3 or so months ago when a lot of you did not know we existed, but I said that Memphis started to fall off at around March. I really think they started to fall off at around that trade deadline. And I think that Jake LaRavia trade, well, shipping him off to Sacramento, really did more damage than we ever thought. I don't think he needed to go. Again, you want to get rid of Marcus Smart, fine. But getting rid of a young guy like Jake LaRavia, who's playing some of his best ball, NBA ball, right now with Memphis, a really growing piece to this team, I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's what happened, and that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. So more about Bagley, as again, was picked up at the trade deadline. The Grizzlies needed to get off of Marcus Smart's contract, sending him in a first-round pick to the Washington Wizards. In return, they got former top 10 picks Johnny Davis and Marvin Bagley III. They waived Davis 2 weeks later, but decided to hang on to Bagley for the rest of the season, knowing he was a soon-to-be free agent. Bagley has now decided to head back to the Wizards, per ESPN's NBA insider Shams Charania, on a one-year deal. He didn't play much last season, appearing in just 31 games, split between Washington and Memphis, averaging just 4.4 points a game and 2 rebounds a game and 8.5 minutes a game. He played well the year before for Washington, which is probably why they're bringing him back. So this just seems like another talent, Duke talent. I love Duke talent. I know that's very polarizing to say, but I love a lot of what Duke has produced over the past, well, now 30 years. But this just seems to be another young prospect that's now just going to be a journeyman. And we kind of figured that out end of the season. I was thinking maybe the Grizzlies would keep Bagley just because of big man depth, because right now you got rid of J Huff, you got rid of Marvin Bagley. You know, that's fine. But You got Santi Aldama, you got Brandon Clark, Gigi Jackson, who can play the 4, but I really want him to stick at the 3. I think he's really a true power forward. I'm sorry, I think he's a true small forward. And then you got Jock Landale. I think this is something a little bit bigger. That if the Memphis Grizzlies are not going to go for any more bigs, and we'll show you a list of them, a list of available bigs in just a moment. But if the Grizzlies are shipping off J Huff and they're fine with Marvin Bagley going back to Washington, we know that Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey, they're going to be reevaluated around October. So they said so the report was for Zach Edey that he was going to be reevaluated in 4 months. They said that in June, early June, so he's going to be reevaluated in early October likely. And then for Jackson Jr., that was early July when he got hurt, and he'll be reevaluated, try saying that 5 times in a row, in about 3 months. So both guys aiming for early, maybe mid-October, at least before the season starts. We'll reevaluate them, see what's going on. And maybe I overestimated kind of how much time they would miss because Jaren Jackson Jr.'s injury didn't look so good. And for Brian Windhorst, he was saying, sometimes for these guys, it's been 4 to 5 months. There's been a history of about 3 or 4 guys getting this same injury. It's been about 4 to 5 months for them to come back. So I'm thinking at least one of those guys, either Edey or Jackson Jr., will eventually come back so that Jock Landale doesn't completely have to hold the fort down. But it's looking like he just might for at least a few games. But if not, maybe the best case scenario, maybe it's just Zach Kleiman saying, let's calm down. Let's just wait for Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. to get healthy, and so be it. But if they still decide to go the route to get a backup center, I don't think these names are really going to stick out with you that much, but I'm going to have to stand up a little bit, get a little closer. So sorry this is so small, but you see Charles Bassey, Bismack Biyombo, Bol Bol. I think Bol Bol, he's a very lengthy guy. Obviously, he's well over 7 feet tall, but there's just some things about his game where I just feel like, man, is this guy going to break something? I hope he doesn't. I pray to God he doesn't, but it's just like, can we keep him out there? With our luck, with our injury history, can we actually keep him out there playing? And then you got Brandon Carlson from the Thunder, and you got a few other names here. And a lot of these guys, they're already signed. Another list here. P.J. Hall from the Nuggets. C. Kai Jones from the Mavericks. DeAndre Jordan. Christian Coloco. Then you got Alex Len, who was completely unplayable. One of the more unplayable players last season. Just in general in the NBA. So you probably don't want anything to do with that. As we look at our last slide here for that. Tristan Thompson, Oscar Tshiebwe. Yeah, I think Zach Kleiman is just going to ride it out here. Unless he wants to get someone else off the street. But that's kind of what I have to say about that. For this video, I think it's really just a matter of the Grizzlies organization trusting that Jackson Jr. and Edey can get a safe, healthy, speedy recovery. And I think that's what's happening here, and we're just creating more space to maybe get some other guys during the season. But then, to end the video, because I told you this, we're going to end the video with this. Grizzlies signing Javon Small. All right, Javon Small to a 2-way contract. Good for you. How about that? The 48th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft was signed to a 2-way contract. Small is 6'1", 190, started 32 games as a senior at West Virginia, averaged 18.6 points a game, 5.6 assists, 4.1 rebounds. He was named to the 2024-25 All Big 12 first team, after ranking second in the conference in scoring and third in assists. And then before that, he spent his time at Oklahoma State, where he was an All Big 12 honorable mention, and then played 2 seasons at East Carolina. So he's been places, and I think he plays very tough. I got to see a few minutes of him play over last weekend. And this guy's tough. I mean, he might be 6'1". I mean, that's not irregular to be 6'1" in the NBA. I mean, Chris Paul's 6 foot. JJ Barea. And hey, Spud Webb won a dunk contest. I mean, so we're just kind of going down the line even. But, I mean, to be doing that, to be doing some great stuff already, I think it's a job well done. And, we were high on this kid. I think we were pretty high on this kid whenever he got drafted here because I knew the name. I saw him at Oklahoma State. I saw him play at West Virginia. I knew he was going to be a tough kid, tough as nails, making incredibly ridiculous shots. I think he's going to be an amazing two-way talent. And maybe, who knows? I mean, God forbid we don't have any injuries, but let's say if that happens, if he's needed, I think he'll replicate the grit and grind culture very well. But that's going to do it for us here on Grizzlies Digest. Thank you so much for watching this episode. You can like this video, comment on this video, share this video, leave a comment down below. Your thoughts about Marvin Bagley leaving back for Washington. Also, your thoughts on Javon Small. Hey, give the youngster some love, huh? All right, Jared Alatorre saying thank you so much for Grizzlies Digest. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.